All right, what's going on? You back, Mercy Sports Talk. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Won't miss another video. Continue to share the videos. Much love to everybody who do share the videos, man. And I do appreciate that love, support, for sure. And yeah, man, I wanted to do this stream a couple days ago, but I had to work out some kinks. They took out the hangout, so I had to get back to XSplit and try to figure some things. I wanted to stream on Facebook. I'm able to do it through my other channel. Can't do it on here yet, but hopefully I get to figure it out. If not, I know there's other ways to do so. But hey, appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the videos. If you haven't, check them out the channel, Goodfellas Sports TV. I kind of just want to do a little brief stream to kind of interact with everybody.
If you've been hurt in a motorcycle,
and interact with everybody real quick, man. And kind of just give my live thoughts on what's going on with the Lions right now. Obviously did the Patriot game. Training camp going on. Stafford was held out of practice the other day. Trey Flowers, he took off the pup list, but he said he still got a long way to go. They got Josh Johnson. He beat out Andrew Jones for the tryout for the backup quarterback position spot. Tom Savage, head injury. Time 21-21 Savage. And then we got the Houston Texans coming up this week. So to kind of just look at the Patriot thing, kind of get my live thoughts. It'll be real short because I done did a few videos on it. My whole thing is not being prepared. It's the second year in a row. First year we gave Patricia a pass. Going into a preseason game, not being prepared. I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Frederick Williams salute. I just don't get it. You got it. You got an opportunity to feel what it's like to be a head coach last year. Everything was filled out. And being a head coach it's not about calling plays. It's not just about X's and O's. You scheduling meetings, you scheduling practices, you overseeing coordinators, game management, just time management. And then you managing 100 different personalities on the team between coaches and players and practice squad players. So being a head coach is a tougher job than people think. And it's surprising a lot of coaches that do call plays and they install plays throughout the week. That's an amazing feat for you to be able to install the first 10 to 20 plays of a game, install a game plan, and then manage a team. That's tough. People just think, oh man, you just I had another dent in my microphone. Time to get a new one, but just bought this thing. But people just think it's all about X's and O's. It's about time management and being prepared. And obviously, Matt Patricia is still struggling with getting his team prepared. And if last year was any prequel to what we will see in the regular season, if that's kind of a hint what's going on, then the Lions might be in for a tough season this year if he can't have his team prepared. And I know people saying it's the backup, so no, it's about being prepared. Patriots went out there, they were prepared, they knew what they wanted to do, they knew when they wanted to switch their quarterbacks, they knew time wasn't playing, and they just looked like they looked like and conducted themselves like a prepared football team. The Lions didn't look like Agnew knew he was playing that night. You know what I'm saying? Michael Ford didn't look like he knew he was playing that night. Offensive line, even in the first play with some of the starters in there. Kenny Wiggins holding on the first run, didn't look like he knew he was playing that night. So they just look out of sync. And then last year was the tough practices, and we practiced too hard, and was too many of this and too much of that. And I don't know if it's that heel they put in there, but right now it don't look like Matt Patricia could be a leader of men. I know it's early, but based off last year, it don't look like he got the proper preparation to formula to get a team ready to go into the preseason. That team should have been looking. No matter if they lost 31-33, they should have conducted themselves like a National Football League team, and they did. You look at the Browns, you look at the Giants, you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Cowboys last night. They conducted themselves like a team, and Patricia just don't look like he can lead men right now. And that's my only thing about it. I'm not taking a shot at Agnew and saying, he didn't look good, or Araqui was in great position He just got to learn how to play the receiver when he can't turn around and play the ball. That come with just rookie woes. And but that's the only thing I had to say about that. They just don't look prepared. Let's see if they look prepared this week. They play Houston. CWM662 salute. We see what they look like versus Houston, but they didn't look prepared. They look sluggish. The line didn't look prepared. The DBs didn't look prepared, and you know, they just didn't look prepared. And that's the problem, man. It wasn't about winning or losing. It's about looking like a football team. Because I don't think Matthew Stafford is going to last this season. It's tough to say. A lot of the line don't know time 21-21 Savage. But that's it. That's I think that's going into training camp point. I think that's a fair assessment because you have Wiggins, Glasgow, and Glasgow. His morale might be down because they say they moved him to the right side, and moving him to the right side is just saying, you know what, we not bring you back next year. We not signing you. He in the contract year, so he may not play, or he might look at it and say, you know what, I'm gonna play for a contract somewhere else. But with Wiggins and Joe Dow inside, and I know Mark Slayer used to say it all the time. He used to be an offensive lineman for the Skins and for the Broncos. I think he won championships with both of them. He used to be on ESPN. He on Fox. I really don't care for him and his personality that much, but he had a good saying. Any old bum can play guard. It takes a superior athlete or superior player to play the tackle position. And for real, I say in 3 weeks our starters going to do the same thing. Well, CeeLo, they did last year. They did that shit last year. You know what I'm saying? And Stafford was dealing with the twins came, and Patricia just don't seem like he got a grasp on it. So with Jim Caldwell, they operated. A lot of people didn't like Jim Caldwell because he didn't show no emotion and shit like that. Well, Jim Caldwell, he knew he had experience being a coach before, and they wasn't run by an inexperienced trained conductor. They was run by a real conductor, a leader of men. Everybody in that locker room respected him. And it's a phase where you phasing out the guys that don't respect you or that's trying to go against the grain or don't respect what you've done. Like Aaron Rodgers did, homeboy up in Green Bay. He said he had the lowest football IQ of anybody I've known in football and all that shit. He went against the grain. Now, if it was Matthew Stafford that wouldn't buy into Matt Patricia, then Matt Patricia wouldn't even survive this year. But it's different when you can weed out the position players that don't make as much. When it was talks about them possibly wanting to weed out Marvin Jones, he might have been the bad apple. How they phased out Glover Quinn and whoever else he feel he need to get rid of to make his system work. I thought they hit a corner last year, and my corner for them was when I noticed they got better each week. From the Jets game defensively wise to the 49er game, they got better each week. And when they got Damon Harrison, they was able to solidify the middle of their line. So I'm really not worried. I'm not worried about them defensively. But if they do have problems defensively, that's the defense should be what they hold their hat on this year. He said, I hated they fired Jim. Yeah, he's sick right now. Hopefully he get better. Skino Bino, salute. Antonio Bowler, he said, what up? Detroit Tigers. Oh, appreciate it. I just do this shit on. I took Miles for a walk. He outside now. He probably drowning his own tears out there. But to kind of think about it, man, it's like only thing that worried me about the team, and I got homeboys, we go back and forth, message or when we see each other. Oh, the Lions don't look good in training camp, or they look like the same old thing. And I'm like, you know what, man, I really don't read too much in preseason. But the one thing I do read into is the preparation of the team. The preparation of the team. Just look like you ready. They ain't even look like they was ready. Tom Savage, he made a nice little throw over to Brandon Powell. Brandon Powell looked like he was one of the few bright spots. He looked like he ready to play. And Danny Amendola, he always got a head injury. He always getting injured. You know what I'm saying? And expect for Brandon Powell to make a difference. Now, Jermaine Kearse's leg injury, he was going to be a vertical threat for the Lions. He was a guy that knows Darrell Bevel offense from his time being in Seattle. He was going to be a huge morale boost if he was going to make the team, and I believe he would have made the team. No, I didn't watch that leg injury over again at all. I didn't want to watch it. I seen it when it happened, but yeah, it was a huge loss. And he was a bigger body receiver. He about 6'1", Brandon Powell a little shorter, so we'll see how they replace Jermaine Kearse. I thought that was an underrated pickup. Maybe they look at Fogham, Andy Jones, who I just can't get with. He keep dropping balls, but at some point, Danny Amendola gonna miss a game. That's just been his mo. Head injury, some type of injury. Amendola is not as durable as Golden Tate was, so he gonna miss a game. So Brandon Powell gonna have to get real familiar with And Matthew Stafford going to look for him because Brandon Powell can get in and out of breaks. He's a shifty, quick, fast guy. So that's another guy. But back to the question in the chat, y'all keep them coming. I go as they come. Is that Stafford ain't gonna make it through the season? And they said he had broken bones in his back. They failed to report. He had broken bones in his lower back. So he in his 10th year, and and they don't have a respectable backup. Tom 21 Savage, he ain't that good, okay? His arm was better than I thought it was, but in Houston, I remember with DeAndre Hopkins, he couldn't do nothing. Daniel Phelps, he shouldn't even be in the NFL. Josh Johnson, he can provide some mobility. That was it. He could provide some mobility, but he really ain't gonna win you too many football games. And really what it boiled down to is, can Darrell Bevel disguise? Can he disguise Can he disguise the offensive deficiencies? And I think he can. You know what I'm saying? I don't think their MO is going to be dropping back 30, 40, 50 times no more like Jim Bob Cooter and trying to substitute the run game with the short passing game. I don't think you're going to see that. I think they can make a effort to run the ball in between tackles, off tackles, traps, whams, draws, powers, stretch. You're gonna see a lot of different sweeps. You're gonna see a lot of different, run game, different types of runs. But you're gonna see a lot of power in there. Anderson. You're gonna see Zenner. You're gonna see obviously Kerryon Johnson. But my one thing is about Darrell Bevel. Is he going to feature Kerryon Johnson's ability to catch the ball out the backfield? Because I don't know too many of his running backs that got a chance to be able to feature their hands. And I think Kerryon Johnson catching in the passing game is going to be real critical to Matthew Stafford checking it down. Because the way that offensive line blocking, you don't know what you're going to get from Taylor Decker after the shoulder injury. Rick Wagner, I expect him to have his best season with the Lions since he's in the contract year. Taylor Decker, I expect him to have a good year. Ragnow in the center, I expect him to have a really good year. But when the money on the line, guys tend to play better. Glasgow, money on the line, they tend to play better. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think Darrell Bevel was going to boost them up by running the ball more. They'll be able to get the opposing they will. But they started off with the Cardinals, and I'm not sure how stout they run D is. I know they got some good pass rushers on the bookends and Chandler and Terrell Suggs, and I know the kid from Temple, the linebacker, he injured. They got rid of Darnell Dockett. He been retired. Calais Campbell, he in Jacksonville. So I don't know what type of hogs they got up front. The Lions should have some success. Patrick Peterson suspended as well too. They should have a bit of success running the ball versus Arizona. If they don't have no success versus Arizona running between the tackles, I think it's gonna be a long season. Because then you go to San Diego. Well, that's another team that's not known for being able to stout against the run. They more one of those lightning ass type teams. They got, I think, Brandon Meebang down there was at Seattle. They got Brandon Meebang down there. Yeah, he left Seattle. They tried to solidify some things. They got the kid out of Notre Dame, but he like 295. He not a big run stopper. They more of a speed, agile D with Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa, who his brother Nick Bosa injured. They both be getting injured, and then they just don't have a lot of girth. Derwin James perhaps the best safety in the NFL, one of the best. They don't have a lot of girth in the middle. So the Lions, the first 2 weeks of the year, you should know the Lions if the Lions is gonna run the ball well because they got two teams that they Kerryon and CJ Anderson should have a field day with. Because those two teams, what's up, Ricky? I see you. Those two teams that's not really historically stout against the run. Now you go to week 3 with the Eagles. Now that's their first test against the run for real. If they really can run the ball. You got Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson. The linebackers, a little bit more quicker, more faster than the thumpers. They got the kid from Nigel Branham from Buffalo. And then Eli Harrell got traded from Buffalo to somewhere yesterday. He used to be a Lion last year, so I want to say that. Um, so but they front seven. Brandon Graham, he from Detroit. His I think his uncle coached me in high school. Um, let me think. They got the Derek Barnett. Is that his name from Tennessee? I like him a lot. The Eagles gonna be there for if they don't run the ball versus the Chargers and the Cardinals. Well, then that's gonna be tough to run the ball against the Eagles. But then you go to Kansas City too, and but they come here and they don't have a lot. They have Chris Jones. I think he holding out. They been got rid of Dante Poe. They just wore him out. But they got Frank Clark. They got um, then they got the kid from Cleveland, the defensive end. Then they got the other kid from Deron Lee, a linebacker from Ohio State, the fuck eyes. Then they got the kid Reggie Ragland from Alabama. He kind of a downhill thumper, but Deron Lee is more of an agile coverage line. They had more of another one of those finesse type defenses. They got the Honey Badger too. They want another type of finesse type of defense. They want to beat you with speed. You will be able to grind it out with them. The first 3 out of 4 football games, the Lions should have success running the ball. Only team I think they may have some trouble running the ball with is against Philly. But if Darrell Bevel really changing that stigma, they gotta run good versus Arizona. They gotta on paper they gotta run good versus San Diego. Philadelphia, I will understand if they have problems running the ball with Philadelphia, but Philadelphia on the outside, I don't think Ronald Darby healthy. On the outside, they should have success versus Philadelphia. You know, they Philadelphia held it down versus Trubisky in the playoff game with some backup DBs. Malcolm Jenkins is still pretty good, but they should if they're gonna win that game, it's gonna be having success on the outside. Let me see. Skinner being so yeah, Brandon Powell gonna make the cut for sure. Yeah, because old boy not gonna be healthy. I'm telling you, Amendola a good player. He always in. All honestly predict our record. I'm saying 10-6, see Los. Frederick Williams salute. He said I have to say the Lions should have drafted a quarterback this past draft, but we knew it wasn't going to happen. Yeah, they talked about it. They put that Bob Quinn and Patricia kept saying, leading up to the combine. But Darius Harris said 7-9. I ain't doing no predictions. It's just stupid. Doing predictions just in the beginning of the year is stupid. I try to stay away from them, especially with the Lions, because you don't know who's gonna be healthy. Especially before preseason. You check my other channel while I do a big preseason show and I do predictions for everybody else. I'm not doing one for the Lions. It's too sketchy, man, in my opinion, especially with injuries and new offensive coordinator. I feel good about the offensive coordinator, but I think it's gonna take time. Keno Bitch, I was on the same. Will he said Fred will. We knew we wouldn't though. Stafford gotta shit or get off the pot. Um, ain't had a black quarterback since Culpepper. Yeah, yeah. Ain't had a mobile quarterback in a minute, dude. Culpepper. He wasn't pretty. He was mobile, but he wasn't Culpepper no more. But what Mike McMahon, Drew Stanton was mobile when he was here. We ain't had too many mobile quarterbacks. Not since the turn of the century. I think the next rookie tight end they got will be a surprise. You talking about the McDonald, the Army All American guy from Georgia? Get Cap done. He done. Ronaldo, what's going on? Salute. Jose, what you think about Mike Beasley signing? That's all right. I did a video on it. Just talking Lions though. Isaac Nuatar, whatever his name is, should be a gem this season. If you get on the field, you know, you got a lot of tight ends. You got Jesse. You got TJ. You got look, Toyota still on the team. I call him Toyota. I don't give a fuck. I would butcher your name. That was a good pick. Our bench would be better this year. What's your take on Austin Bryan? I don't know too much about him. I seen him, and I don't know. I kind of looked at him. He got a little. He had an injury coming in. Now he injured. Um, you know, I heard he supposed to be a gem. The last Clemson defensive end we took. What was homeboy name? He played opposite of Clowney. He didn't do much here though. He did not get on the field. The black brother, I can't remember his name, but we ain't. I mean, I can't put his failures on him, but we'll see. I don't know too much about him. I know a lot of people excited about him, but I know he lacked the physical strength. One on his scouting report in his film, he lacked the physical strength to really make an impact. So he got to get stronger on the next level. But the Lions historically have been able to develop defensive linemen. You know, they have. That kid, Mike, remember, what was his name? Michael George, or whatever. George Johnson, excuse me. I said Michael George. George Johnson came here, kicked off of Tampa Bay. He came here and had like a dog season, and I think Tampa Bay gave him a contract. He ain't do shit else. Truth be told, and Dominican Sue, he ain't really been shit since he left here. And Dominican Sue left a winning situation for him. And Dominican Sue never produced the way anywhere else that he produced here. And Detroit got a good way of just producing defensive linemen. You know, from Jim Swartz to Jim Caldwell to Matt Patricia. But it is what it is. He said, "Don't do Cal." He done. He done. They're not letting him back in the league. Everybody know that. The person you played against yesterday on Twitter sucked, bro. Yeah, I didn't have my playbook. They had me in that heavy Arizona playbook, bro. I was an Arizona player, but I had to go find out that shit sucked. I like a lot of heavy sets. And I like to spread it out too, but I like a lot of heavy sets on, man. I'll go live again today, man, when I settle in. I probably take Miles for another walk or some shit. Let him play with the German Shepherd across the street. That nigga be having too much energy. I think we going to have 4 tight ends on the roster. TJ, Jesse, Logan, Thomas, and so they must have got rid of Toyota. I must have missed that one. You think Zion will have a good career if he lose weight? Sectional tail salute. So Logan Thompson, yeah, I forgot he was a quarterback at Virginia Tech, right? Yeah. That bitch dropped the ball. I'm sorry, that bitch dropped the ball on me the other day. I was playing Madden like a week ago. I go, who the fuck is this dude? He dropped the ball. I said, oh, Logan Thomas. That other dude with Kansas City, other quarterback from Oklahoma, Blake Bell. I thought he was gonna be a pretty good tight end, man, but finished on the Lions. I really, I think the Lions is gonna be successful because of Darrell Bevel. If they're gonna be successful, it's gonna be because of Darrell Bevel. Defense on paper is supposed to look good, but and I think when Mike Daniels get back in the thick of things, Trey Flowers get in the thick of things, Damon Harrison get back in the swing of things, Hand get into things, and once Devin Kennard shake off the little offseason rust, I think the front four, should be good. It depends on, what you get from the Hawaiian, Talani, what you get from Davis, and Christian Jones when he in those type of situations, man. So, you know, Talani looking pretty good out there, man. I like his game a lot, man. So, but Dave, if the linebacker's good, I'm not really worried about it, man, because you got Walker, Quadre, Slay, and a lot of people like Rashad Melvin. I don't that number 2 cornerback position. They need to go ahead and address that like next year. But as to the questions about the quarterback, they should have took a developmental quarterback. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have to be a Garoppolo or Andy Dalton second round type of guy. Should have been like they should have moved for AJ McCarron. They could have drafted Will Greer. Well, they took him in the 4th, 5th round. There were value picks in the draft. Where you didn't have to pay him much, but they don't want Stafford to feel uncomfortable at all. Stafford ain't had a lick of pressure on him since he been here. It ain't been no type of quarterback position. He ain't had to have the hunger or the eye of the tiger in a long time because his job ain't never been in jeopardy. What keep Tom Brady motivated? Because Tom Brady took Drew Bledsoe's job, and Tom Brady never wanted to let that happen to him. Max Stafford ain't had to never worry about nobody taking his job. No matter when people were saying, "Oh, Sean Hill connect better with Megatron," they just never had to worry about it. He is with the Detroit Lions because the Fords like him, buddy. We like him. We want to keep Matthew here. It ain't about Matthew going out there and being terrible, being real good, being okay, being average. The Fords like Matthew Stafford, dog. That's what it is. Jim Bob Cooter was able to stay here as an offensive coordinator. Why? Because they like Jim Bob Cooter. They liked him. But they know it was inevitable that they had to get rid of him because the fans were starting to see his kind. You know what I'm saying? They started to see that he ain't no offensive coordinator. He need to go back, learn under somebody else. He need to go and pay his dues. You know what I'm saying? He need to just, go back to school and get a master's, a PhD, a doctoral as an offensive coordinator. You feel what I'm saying? That was that. But They don't have no problem getting, and people and these other YouTube niggas out here, they wanna that feed like, oh yeah, Stafford is great and this and that. And I'm like, man, I ain't saying the motherfucker bad. I ain't saying that he great. But all I'm saying is he wore his welcome out here and they stuck with him. They paid him because they like him. They paid him because he a good company man. They paid him because it's a buddy system. That's how corporate America is run. You know what? We gonna take care of him. And guess what? You look at the teams that's winning Super Bowls. Tom Brady taking the pay cut. Russell Wilson. I think he won it under a rookie deal. So a lot of the recent winners, Drew Brees took a pay cut to win it. So it is what it is. Get your money. If his whole idea is to pad his stats and for people to be around Detroit and say he the greatest statistical quarterback the Lions ever had, so be it. But all I know is when you come down to the quarterback position, it's about wins and losses. That's what it's about. It's about wins and losses. Yeah, you could say, oh, they had the greatest left tackle. Or they could say, they don't make that excuse for Dan Marino. Oh, Dan Marino didn't have, no, when it come down to the greatest quarterbacks of all time, don't nobody say, oh man, if Dan Marino would have had this defense, or if Dan Marino played on the 85 Bears, or if Dan Marino, nobody tell you that shit. They conveniently ranked Peyton, Tom, Joe Montana, Elway, Favre, whoever else. They conveniently ranked them above Dan Marino because he didn't win the big one. That's why. They don't mention, oh, Marino was the greatest thrower of football. He was perhaps one of the greatest throwers of football I've ever seen. He had a great, great arm, and him and Ingram had a great connection, and it didn't matter. He didn't win. So did nobody have a pity party? That's just the way the quarterback position is laid down. It's wins and losses. And they gonna continue to make excuses, but he been out. He took a rest day, and he in his going into his 11th year, I believe, 10th or 11th year, I think it is. Matthew Stafford, and they should think about getting another quarterback. But I said it before, and I say it again. I said it before, and I say it again. If Stafford get hurt for a significant amount of time this year, and they season go down the drain because all they invested they assets into Matthew Stafford, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. Well, Bob Quinn in particular, he deserved to be fired for not having a safety net, not having. You went from Matt Castle last year, got a scare in the first game versus the New York Jets. I was there, and they put Castle in. Last year, they didn't want to tank. Everybody said we should go for it, and then it turned out that they made Matthew Stafford play with broken bones in his back or fractured bones in his back. I don't know if he had an incentive. If he paid, I bet he had an incentive for him to play. If he played so many snaps, they gave him this much money or something like that. But no, they didn't want to rest Matthew Stafford, let him heal up. Then this year, Matthew Stafford dealing with the whole situation with his wife. You know what I'm saying? Then when time did he actually have to sit there, put his feet up, and let his back relax? They got twins. I know they got nannies and shit. They already got another kid. His wife went through that. When has he ever got to sit down and let his ass fucking heal? Huh? When? He been moving and shaking all off season, man. And the mental stress, it can affect the physical. You know what I'm saying? For people that think like that. So, like I said before, anything less than 8-8 this year deserve to be fired. But we know Martha not gonna do it. We know she not gonna do it. But I'm not going to fake the funk. You feel me? I'm not going to fake the funk about Matthew Stafford. Maybe he works somewhere else, but right now, he ain't been proven the guy for the job. You could say it was Scott Linehan fault. You could say it was Joe Lombardi, Jim Bob Cooter. But this year, everybody's saying, okay, if it don't work out, there's going to be some other excuse this year to protect Matthew Stafford. Oh, he didn't have an offensive line. I've seen plenty of times where Brady go out there with 6th, 7th round draft picks, and they figure it out. I remember, Aaron Rodgers lost his left and right tackle. He was out there with Marshall Newhouse. He figured it out. Great teams, and great organizations, they tend to figure it out. They tend to figure this shit out. And you telling me, and I don't care, and I didn't argue with Luke G Review. We talked on the phone. Cool dude. We didn't argue this shit on the phone. You can't change. I can't change his mind. I'm not trying to change the nigga mind. in due time, we have proven who was right, who was wrong, whatever. But all I'm saying is, like, dude, if I ain't fucking my wife right for 10 years, cover the baby ears, you think she ain't gonna go somewhere else and find somebody else to fuck, even if I do or don't know? It don't work like that. If you're not satisfied in life, you're gonna go look somewhere else. If the water dirty over here and it's undrinkable over here, well, fucking duck and whoever else drink out the fucking pond, a duck gonna fly, Canadian geese gonna fly to the pond and go where the water is clear at. You feel what I'm saying? I'm trying to put it as many ways as I can possible. 10 years, a 10-year sample, that ain't no sample. Y'all can say, well, this happened, that happened, this happened. A lot of shit happened in Aaron Rodgers' career, and I hate to use him as an example. Broken collarbones, offensive lineman fell down, but guess what? He is the single most reason that Green Bay have been relevant. Every year they say, oh, Green Bay is the second best rated team, or they the fifth best rated team, and they turn out to be the 15th or 20th best rated team. You know why they always put up like that? It's because Aaron Rodgers is a transcendent talent. Peyton Manning. Why was the Colts always in the top, 3 or 4 or 5 teams, whatever, to begin the season? Because of Peyton fucking Manning. You took Peyton Manning off that team, guess what happened? They ain't had much. That team fell apart under Scott Tozine. They ain't had much. You got transcendent quarterback. Stafford is getting paid like I hate to take it here, but he getting paid like a transcendent quarterback. What the hell? What is he transcended? Andrew Luck, he made it to the AFC Championship game. Not that much defense, even with defensive head coach and Chuck Picano, who the Bears defensive head coordinator. He also didn't have the greatest running game that year. It ranked in the bottom 20. And when he got injured, guess what? That team fell apart. Jacoby Brissett kind of, when they got him, he ride the shit better than Scott Tozine. But like I said, man, I don't see transcending. But for the dollar he getting, he ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? For the amount of money, he not there. And Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, you name it, man. He ain't the only one. Matt Ryan, I feel if you get Stafford all them weapons, he'd be able to do way better than Matt Ryan is. But Stafford got a better arm than Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan be underthrowing. Stafford got the gun. He got the gun. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. He got the arm talent. You know what I'm saying? And I think he got a good enough IQ, to carry him. But for this organization, you need somebody that's transcendent, dog. You need somebody that's just built different. You need somebody that's like elite special. And that's just the hand he been dealt. I think if he, went to Denver, or back in a couple years ago, or he went to Kansas City, or he was in Houston, I think he would do fine there. I think he would have had a playoff win in Baltimore if he was doing what Joe Flacco was doing. I think if he was with the New York Jets, I think maybe he could have got them over the hump and they would have won a championship where Mark Sanchez failed at. And I think he would have succeeded at. But Detroit is a different struggle. Just like the economy here, man. People argue with people all the time. People from down south, oh, y'all this and that. Like, nigga, like, you got to be built different to live here. You got to be built different to live here. You know what I'm saying? And for Stafford still to be here, I think that's a victory for him in itself. For Stafford to make it to his, third contract, that's too many quarterbacks. Joey Harrington, like, he was done. He crumbled. So for Stafford still to be up here and still competing and be able to still stretch and touch his toenails and to be able to still chuck the ball 60, 70 yards down the field, and for him just to be in his physical to be intact and his mental to be strong enough to be here, either he built different, and I think it's what it is, or he loved the dough so much. You know what I'm saying? Either he built different, which I think it is, he a different type of animal. You put him in a structured organization, and I think he succeeds. I'm not saying he will win the Super Bowl, but if you put him with Atlanta guy, you put him with Dallas guy down there, you put him in certain situations, Jacksonville, you know what I'm saying? I think he would have succeeded. But in Detroit, you got a grade on the scale that you give him to. He not special enough to be here. But now they put Darrell Bevel here to put some structure around him. He don't need to be dropping back 50 times a game. He said Quinn does draft good sometimes. Yeah, the jury's still out. I like a lot of the picks that he do, man. I like a lot of the picks that he do, but still, you know. All right, salute, Frederick. Hopefully everything good. Sensational tale. If LaMelo is available in the draft, what should you take him? Ain't nobody gonna take him, man. Not the Pistons. He gonna be gone. He gotta be like a top 3 pick. I think that he better than Lonzo. So hell yeah, that's the problem. Ain't never had a fire lit under his ass. But that we need a dog, a young buck who wants it and looking to lead his new coach. But they like you can't blame that on Stafford, bro. You can't blame Stafford not having fire, man. The Lions would do it. The Lions have converted more Steelers and Cowboy fans and more other teams than any other team. And I haven't been everywhere. It's just my experiences, man. The Lions have made more. The Lions have converted more. Any other Detroit team, we could keep it that way. The Lions have converted they fans into other teams more than any other Detroit team. I see more Cowboy. I was sitting at dinner table yesterday with Cowboys, Steeler fans, and they didn't push people to Chicago. I had a guy I used to argue with in my apartment building when I stayed in an apartment years ago. He was a Bears fan. I'm like, nigga, how the fuck you a Bears fan? He said the Detroit Lions will do it to you. They do it. They will. I can't root for no other team. I just can't help it. I can't help it. That's just how but they have. Having all 3 phases is important, but name one other athlete that was allowed 10 years to get it right. With no wins, there isn't one. Nope. Andy Dalton pushing forward, though. What you talking about? Marvin Lewis, how long he was in Cincinnati? Marvin Lewis was in Cincinnati. They couldn't get over the hump. I won some money that year they lost to San Diego. I told somebody. I was like, I told one of my boys, I made a bet. Yeah, I didn't make a bet with him. It was a bet through my barber. He bet on the book. So I made a bet. I'm like, man, them niggas gonna lose to the Chargers. No, they ain't. He's from Cincinnati too. No, they ain't. I'm like, oh, they gonna lose to the Chargers, bro. They gonna lose. Guess what? That nigga was mad. His name was Alex. He was mad. I was like, man, y'all just got that luck we got. Lord Lennox 313 salute. Hold on, give me a minute. He says Stafford's always had a bad throwing mechanics. Having a big arm means nothing. Our receivers are great. Just remember how many times Kenny Galladay had to prevent an interception by playing DB. Yeah, you're right though on that one. But you need that arm, especially playing in certain markets. I'm not saying Detroit one of them, but you play in Cleveland, you got to have an arm. You go outside and play in the cold, you got to have big hands and an arm. But you're right. His throwing sidearm, it look cool. But mechanics is will get you accuracy. And you think it's difficult playing quarterback. It is, but really, if you identify the coverage, if you're able to identify the coverage, it's process of elimination. Playing quarterback is process of elimination. You know what I'm saying? It's like having a multiple choice test. All right, man. It looked like they ain't cover 4. I like this drag route. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna order one to a zone flutter. You know what I'm saying? Post, corner, post. With post, a post, and then we're gonna do a post corner. The post corner to flood the zone, drag underneath. It's different things. It's process of elimination. It's not as hard as you think it is. But then again, you gotta have the eternal clock. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You got to worry about the 5 man in front of you blocking. If it's 6, you got to worry about the 2 or 3 men on the route running the correct route. That's the hardest thing to do is play quarterback. And I think second hardest thing to do in sports is hitting the baseball. Stafford would have won the Super Bowl in Jacksonville in 2017, guaranteed. Big Mike, Skino Bino, that's messed up part. He probably would have gone to post everywhere, but that ain't us. If he turns out to be not what we need, what now? If he do turn out not to be what we need, I don't think it's the worst thing. Just making sure you right your wrongs, though, man. Making sure that that you identify that for the. He gave his life to the city. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that he gave his career to the city, man. And that's what the Lions do. That's why people don't want to come here, man. And they need to have a better structure, man. And they getting Bob Quinn was simply about being a cheap organization. They wanted to be what the Patriots is. They didn't want to be the Patriots because the Patriots won Super Bowls just because of that. They wanted to be with the Patriots because the Patriots cheaply won Super Bowls. They want a plug and play system that keep the more money in Martha Ford pocket in the Ford pocket while winning Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. They want to win the Super Bowl cheaply. They don't have that woman. Don't have the how can I say it? She don't have the thirst for a championship like the city do. She don't. The Fords never had a thirst for a championship. They don't want winners in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Would a winner be more lucrative to the Lions, than losing? Yeah, but it ain't that big a difference. They still eating. Now I have people stop coming from Linden and Howell and Troy and UP and Traverse City and they keep coming from Highland. They come from all these other different parts of Detroit. If you really notice, it don't like that stadium might be like 10% people that residents from the city of Detroit, and that's being nice. The state of Michigan is what funds the Detroit Lions. The state of Michigan is what funds the Detroit Lions. Say it again. All these people come down here every Sunday. They can't boycott the Lions. So if I'm going to get this money every Sunday, if we mediocre and I can sell optimism, which the NFL sells through the offseason all the time until you know you don't got no chance to win the championship by week 5, they eating. And they don't pay no taxes basically with the Ford Motor Company. And probably through the hospitals they don't pay no taxes. I guarantee you that. I know they don't pay for minimum taxes. They got so many tax breaks that they don't pay no taxes, man. Think about all the competition nonsense talk about during training camp, but really don't practice what they preach. Yeah, yeah. He said, brother, though, Baker weak ass blew that spot on Marvin. Yeah, he did, bro. But the thing about the competition, like, at the end of the day, all the rookies start at the bottom of the totem pole. Do you not expect Hawkinson to start? They're gonna do a lot of two tight end sets. If he don't, he gonna be involved into the game. And Jesse James is a good tight end as well too. But it's gonna be excuses made. It's just the way it is with the Lions. It's gonna be excuses made. All these niggas every year, they get out here and they say, oh, Motor City hating on Stafford, and they make these videos. But you tell me where I'm wrong at. You can't tell me where I'm wrong at. And this year, everybody's saying, if he don't ball with Daryl, but see, everybody want to be politically correct. Everybody want to make everybody happy. You gotta just pay attention. Everybody want to make everybody happy. Me? Hold on. Steelers receiver coach Daryl Drake dies at 62. Damn. But everybody want to make everybody happy. Everybody want to stroke everybody's ego, man. Can't do that. You can't make everybody happy. If you say something, you're going to piss somebody else over there. Like, nigga, just be true to yourself. All these niggas come on here and just offer optimism. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it real. And that's just how I just know how to operate in sport. If I don't think the team good, I'm like, I don't think the team good. If I don't think Stafford good, I don't think Stafford good. I'm not about to argue down and go back and forth. Just know if you disrespect me, then when I see you in public, I'm going to smack the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Just know. Like, niggas think everything kosher. I'm smack the shit out you. I'm going to keep it real. If I catch you walking one of my dogs, I'm going to let my dogs out on you. I'm just let you know that right now. So everything not good. You know what I'm saying? Just because I let it go, I ain't forgot. And that's a clear message to a particular person. If I catch you, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm just telling you that right now. If I got one of my dogs with me, I'm gonna let him loose. You know what I'm saying? That's just keeping 100. No, I ain't forgot. No, I wasn't just playing. No, I ain't putting your head down. No, it's personal. It's personal now. That's just the way I'm cut. It's personal. You better not let me catch you in the city, dog. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like looking, just keep looking to close it out real. I ain't gonna close it out right now, but give me a minute. Let me see how long I got. But just looking at it now, yeah, I still got a little bit more time. Just looking at it now, I didn't want to make it a Stafford thing, but they should have got some security behind Stafford. I don't know why they didn't get Brock Osweiler. And I don't know why they didn't get Brock Osweiler. I thought he did pretty good versus the Lions last year. Maybe he wanted too much money. But other than that, man, oh yeah, Darius Slay. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, his agent just got Duke Johnson traded. Drew Rosenhaus. He been around for been around for a long time. Duke Johnson wanted to get traded. He fired his agent, hired Drew Rosenhaus. He got traded to Houston. Now that's funny. He got traded to Houston because him and Lamar Miller are basically the same type of running back, and they cut Dante Foreman, I believe. They waived him. You know, but I'm just wondering what's going on with Darius Slay. Because if it's a point, if it's a point of okay, we're not paying you, but we address it next year. Then next year, if they get past the CBA, I think they move him. You know what? He not a Bob Quinn guy. He's 30 years old. And for Darius Slay, that's the best possible thing for his career. As long as he don't go to Buffalo, that's the best possible thing for his career. You know? And I'll say it again. Get out. They don't appreciate you while you're here. You've been the best player here. You got people saying, "Oh, Slay overrated. Oh, Slay not that good." But then again, they defend Matthew Stafford. How can you defend Matthew Stafford? And this dude been all pro, I believe. He made, I think, multiple Pro Bowls. He's been perhaps their most consistent and best player. Yeah, he had a few injuries here and there. I just don't understand that. I just don't understand how can people be ready to throw Darius Slay away like that. I just don't get it. He been your best player. He been your best player. You know, I can stand people say, "Oh, he old and this and that." Like, I just figured they want to restructure his contract, push the last year money up to keep him happy. Maybe they did it on the low. I just don't understand. You take your best player, your homegrown. I know Bob Quinn didn't draft him. Your homegrown talent. You take your best player, the best player you drafted in a while, especially in the second round. You talking about Ryan Bros and Titus Young and Tease Tabor, and it's been so many blown second round draft picks with the Lions. You know what I'm saying? You've been so many second round and then you don't want to treat him right. I just don't get it, man. I understand if you don't want to pay him, cool, trade him. But the way your DBs was looking last night, 2 nights ago, whatever it was, Friday, Thursday, 3 nights ago, like, dude, you need cuz. You feel me? You need cuz, for real. You need him. You need him. You need him. You need him. Because imagine if Darius Slay said, "Oh, I tore my boom, boom, boom. I ain't playing the rest of the year," or "I'm holding out for the year," or whatever. Imagine if he did that. Then what? Rashad Melvin, he ain't no number 1 or number 2, but you'll take him at number 2. So you talking about Tease Tabor going out there? You talking about Michael Ford after how he looked last Thursday, excuse me. Jamal Agnew, Justin Coleman, like, dude, I don't know, man. They must got a plan to bring in a new cornerback to be the man. And I don't think he's gonna be happy. And if Darius Slay ain't happy, then do we ball? Do we fake an injury? I don't know what you think of deal, but that's your best player. That is the best player. And they might have Snacks rated the best player on Madden, and that's cool. He very important. You know what I'm saying? He another guy that's trying to get his money. Now, I understand not paying him, but I don't understand trading for him, knowing you got to pay him, giving up a 5th round draft pick and not pay him. I never understood that one. If you didn't want to pay him, shouldn't have traded for him. I know it's only a 5th, but like, you knew you had to pay both of these guys. So, like I said, the organization is cheap, man. The one play, if it's Stafford, it's all about, oh, you got to take care of Stafford and take care of the good old white boy. We got to take care of him. But when it comes to the brother Darius Slay, who been consistent, a better player than Matthew Stafford, not seeing that his position is more meaningful than Stafford, but it damn sure ain't meaningless. They ain't gonna take care of him. They ain't gonna take care of him. You know what I'm saying? And it might be the best thing for his career to get out of Detroit. Or they might make, we gonna pay you after this next season. And then they gonna franchise tag him. Then they gonna franchise tag. Then nigga be 33, 34 years old. 32, 33 years old. I don't understand it. Stafford get all this money, and everybody on that team know that nigga ain't worth that money. Everybody in the city know he ain't worth whatever he getting. Everybody in the city know he ain't worth that much money. If Tom Brady only getting $23 million, Stafford should be getting $3 million. You know what I'm saying? If Aaron Rodgers getting whatever he getting, Stafford should be worth way less than that. Kirk Cousins too, Derek Carr too. They all in the same boat. But when it come to playing Darius Slay, oh nah, you 30, you old, you tweaked your left ankle, you out your prime. That shit bothers me, dog. It do. It now had he been a guy they brought on, free agency, I'll be like, okay. But where the loyalty at? Where is loyalty that y'all showed Matthew Stafford? Because y'all didn't show that loyalty to Barry. Y'all didn't show that loyalty to Calvin. You didn't show that loyalty and operated in good faith when Ndamukong Suh. So Stafford the only one that get the loyalty? He said offensive line. Let me go back. I saw James had Holyfield had a question. You think they will take a quarterback next year? They might be waiting for the kid from Clemson. That's 2 years, but if they're in a position to take one, if they in like the top 7, they want to move up and get one. I like the kid from Oregon, Justin Herbert. Athletic, but we'll see what he do this year. I'm excited for college football. I do a college football stream. I do some Michigan predictions, or when they ain't playing nobody good, I do Michigan. I go live at the Michigan games if I can. I promise. Sunday before the Lion game or after the Michigan game. Um, and if somebody want to come on, they talk Michigan State. Maybe we can work out a deal. They come on and post Michigan State content. We come on together. We can work something out. So to kind of accommodate everybody, if you're a Michigan State fan and you want to try something else out, we want to chop it up, we can work something out. So just hit my email, so it's in the description. Like you said, bro, hate to make it about race, but it's legit. We need people don't want to talk about that shit, man. When it came to paying the brothers, or have Matthew Stafford come out next year, his cap hit is only $10 million, and say, you know what, Martha, it's not fucking working, Martha. It's not working. I gave my blood, sweat, and tears to this city, Martha. I would like to try a new city. They probably trade Matthew Stafford if he has to be traded. Real talk, they probably would. Barry Sanders, nah, boy, retire. Calvin, hell no. Give us that. They took money back from Barry and Calvin. They talking about $1 million they took back from Calvin Johnson. Like Martha ain't got $1 million fucking dollars. Hear that? And Ndamukong Suh, they ain't want to give him the money he wanted. Oh, we not paying him. Bye. Boom. And honestly, that ended up being, that was a detriment to Ndamukong Suh. Even though he went to Miami, he played in the Super Bowl, but he never had the success. We were talking about that at a birthday dinner yesterday. He never had the success since he left here. And that's on the cool. He said, all right, otherwise it's gonna be a long season. The offensive line situation, as Skino Bino said, that Lord Lynn said, offensive line situation is worse than the cornerback position. Well, you got 3 guys in contract here. You got Decker, left tackle, Ragnar, right tackle, right guard, Glenn Glasgow contract, rookie Ragnar, Wiggins Dow going for the left guard position. So we'll see. I think Darrell Bevel, if he able to really establish the run, which run blocking is a lot easier to do than pass blocking, for most offensive linemen, I think that should be all right. Offensive line, okay, I read that one. Skino Bino, yeah, Slay been here. Yeah, Slay was from the mud. Slay was one of the few second round draft picks that worked out for Martin Mayhew. The offensive line situation is worse than the quarterback situation. Okay, Lord Lynn say if one of them offensive linemen get injured, Stafford get injured for the season. Oh no, I think it ain't that much parity behind them, to be honest. Joe Dale, I don't think he is that big of a gap between him and Kenny Wiggins, which Kenny Wiggins shouldn't be a starter in this league, though. I will say that, unless he improved. And then you got Terrell Crosby. I don't think it's that he in concussion protocol. I heard him below, and I think Terrell Crosby eventually take over for Rick Wagner. So if the left tackle position, then yeah, it's a problem. Taylor Decker, he don't get together or he get injured, I definitely agree that's a problem. But The interior and the right side, I'm not worried about it because it's not that much parity. But remember, Bob Quinn is the guy who invested all of these assets into these offensive line. Yeah, people forget that he invested in Decker, which Decker looked good till he hurt his shoulder, but that's part of the game. He invested in Taylor Decker. He invested into Frank Ragnow draft pick. He invested a mid-round draft pick into Graham Glasgow. He invested into T.J. Lang some money, and he invested into Rick Wagner into free agent money. All five of these offensive linemen is him. He drafted Joe Dale. He drafted Terrell Crosby to back up. He brought Kenny Wiggins in free agency. All this is him. This not like Jim Harbaugh walking into Michigan and saying, "Oh, these is Brady Hoke players." Was Brady Hoke the last coach? I can't remember. It had to be him. These Brady Hoke players? I got to wait to get them. No, all these is Bob Quinn has 8 of the offensive linemen I could think of. He picked them. He picked these dudes. Nobody else. He struck out on all of them except right now it looked like maybe Ragnow and Graham Glass, but he ain't about to pay him. He moving his center who played left guard all the way to right guard because he don't want to pay him. Or he don't think he that good. So that's another burn draft pick. So, like I said, it's so cold in the deep. Bob Quinn has done a horrible job with he can't tell he can't tell offensive lineman, man, I don't even know what to say. Bob Quinn is when it comes to offensive lineman, Bob Quinn is the equivalent of Nas picking production. He's the equivalent of Nas picking beats for people who don't understand what I'm saying. When it comes to picking receiver, he looking like Rose. Like that new Rose album, though. I got it. Bob Quinn, okay. Kenny Wiggins is a starter. Laugh my ass off. Kenny Wiggins. I can block better than Kenny Wiggins right now. On the game. I can block better than Kenny. For real. But yeah, you go against Houston this week. I would expect you probably see Stafford out there unless he injured on the low key, and that's why they holding him out of practice. So I expect that you see Stafford out there for a series at least. Last week I think Houston did play Deshaun Watson. They got Will Fuller back. Was it the receiver QD and DeAndre Hopkins and the JT Thomas tight end and Jadeveon Clowney hasn't reported yet or signed his franchise tenure. So I'm not. It's just a preseason game. As long as nobody get hurt. I know Tom Savage had a serious head injury. It's 4th in 3 years. He probably could be thinking about retiring. Tom 21 Savage. So better Tom 21 Savage than Matthew Stafford. I mean, hopefully 21 Savage get it together. Put his health first. And but David Fields, he ain't that. He ain't it, man. But Matthew Stafford, we see what he do next week. I don't expect it to look as bad as it did this week, but I think a lot of 3-step drops, get the ball out of his hand quick. I know Wiggins and Galladay and Jones are happy to see him out there, and I think the third preseason game is what we gonna really be able to gauge by to see him let that thing go, man. But Houston ain't in full strength. They got a lot of old people on there, man. Jonathan Joseph still playing. God damn, that motherfucker been in the league 13 seasons going into this year. And he's still playing at a pretty high level. So Deshaun Watson, electric legs, electric arm. I think he one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL, if not 12. Got a lot of love for him, man, for sure. But other than that, we'll see what happens. Y'all got any questions, I'll answer. Tasami, Poppy. Should the Pistons star Michael Beasley as small for him? Nah. Can't start him and Blake. Not You could. Yeah, you could start him and Blake. No, he coming off the bench. You got any questions, I'll answer him, but he coming off the bench for sure. Yeah, he coming off the bench. He gonna be. You probably see your Pistons starting lineup probably be like Reggie, Luke, however long he healthy, Tony Snell, Blake, and probably Drummond. Like I said before, you'll probably see every now and again. You'll see Reggie Jackson and Derrick Rose be part time starters at point guard. I don't mean that Reggie gonna be out the lineup and Derrick Rose won't be in the lineup. It's just gonna be minutes wise. They will share that responsibility. Derrick Rose can play 30, 40 minutes, and Reggie Jackson barely can play 30 minutes. The thing for the Pistons this year is they need to try to make a trade for Westbrook or DeMar DeRozan. It won't happen right now. But the thing for the Pistons this year is defense. You know what I'm saying? Defense and depth and development. Thomas, Brown, CV. You hope you get development out of Sayuku, the development crew, and then defense. Snell, Maker, Drummond. Be a good. I think it'd be a good team. East wide open. Had they been able to get Russell Westbrook and retain the services of Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin, which was real possibility. They just didn't want to part with those draft picks, which the Pistons always trade their draft picks because they always give away their draft picks. That's great. They traded the first round draft pick this year they got from Milwaukee. I didn't understand why they didn't want to trade the assets, but maybe Blake didn't want to sign off on Russell Westbrook. But if they would have got Russell Westbrook, kept Blake, and kept Drummond, maybe they would have gave up Luke Kennard, Tony Snell, and a whole 3 or 4 draft picks. The Pistons could have been easily. They would have been. They announcing the NBA schedule tomorrow. The Pistons could have easily they would have had a ton of national TV games. That'd have brought a ton of more revenue back to Little Caesars Arena, ton more in parking, ton more in downtown. Russell Westbrook would have paid his contract would have paid for itself, but they didn't want to part. It wasn't the personnel assets. They didn't want to part with the draft aspects. They didn't want to put their franchise 3 or 4 years behind, especially if Westbrook didn't work out. But the Pistons would have been on all types of national television. They'd have been on ESPN up the ass next year, dog. You put Westbrook, Blake, and Drummond, and they probably would have traded Reggie Will, and you got D Rose. The Pistons would have been a national phenomenon next year. Watch what I tell you. They would have been on ESPN. It'd have been like watching the Going to Work Pistons when they was on ESPN, TNT. Their West Coast Swings was on TNT. That's what it would have been like. That was the part of the risk you took from getting Russell Westbrook. And then again, maybe they hollered at him behind closed doors. He like, you know what? I really didn't want to be here. They got permission to talk to him. Like, I don't really want to be in Detroit. You like, you know what? I respect that. Or like, just come check the city out. The Pistons supposed to have the best practice facility and the biggest facility in the NBA, and they was the first team to have private planes for their players. Everybody else was riding short bus shorty. The Pistons they had a PJ for their players back in the day. That's the crazy thing about it. I want the Pistons to trade Reggie Jackson for Drew Holiday. No, New Orleans ain't that stupid. It ain't that stupid. Reggie Jackson got an expiring contract, but it seemed like the Pistons wanted to hold on to it and probably try to cash it in at the trade deadline. But if they let that money roll off the books and don't get nothing for it, then so be it. They still paying Josh Smith. Them motherfuckers still playing Josh Smith. You know what I'm saying? But if they want to let that money run off the books, hey, I ain't mad at it. They can do whatever they choose to want to do with it. But quite frankly, I think they should have traded for Westbrook just to financially what it would have meant to the city of Detroit downtown. But it is what it is. I really ain't angry about the situation. But I like the Pistons doing, man. But at some point they gonna have to blow up the spot. They gonna have to blow up the spot. And when I say they gotta blow up the spot, if this don't work out, then Drummond talking about leaving the team, and I wouldn't be mad at that because I don't think he worth what he getting paid right now. But there's some people that's infatuated with Drummond. I mean, he don't defend the rim, he don't score. His worth is in being a rebounder. But Dennis Rodman can defend and rebound. This isn't a big signing, but next season I want the Pistons to sign Brandon Knight for like a bench role. He done. I don't think he ever recovered from his leg injury. Just like Brandon Jennings. And Brandon Jennings was him getting injured was the worst thing that happened for this franchise because that allowed Stan Van Gundy to bring in Reggie Jackson. As soon as he got injured, see, Stan Van Gundy was waiting for Brandon Jennings to fuck up. See, he was like, "Oh, I want a big point guard and this little small." But Brandon Jennings was exactly what the Pistons had needed. He was playmaking for Andre Drummond. I mean, he was running the offense beautifully. And for him, man, he fucked his leg up, man. You know what I'm saying? He messed his leg up, and he had us rolling. We had this beat LeBron and them. We was on a crazy roll, and he messed his leg up, dog. And damn, that was messed up, man. But Brandon Knight, he just wasn't that good, man. Kind of remind me of another John Calipari guard, Darius Washington. He never made it. He was one of his first recruits, big recruits in Memphis. He didn't never make it to the NBA, I don't think. But Brandon Knight was one of the few John Calipari, big time point guards that didn't make it. What seed do you think the Pistons would get? Probably 6, 7, 8. I think Brooklyn gonna be. I gotta look at the teams this year. So Milwaukee is pretty good. Toronto still be in the thick of things. Indiana, if Oladipo come back, I think they gonna be a top. They gonna be in the. They gonna be a top 4 seed. Chicago might be a. They might be a little sleeper. Orlando might get a little stronger this year if Markel Fultz can come back. Um, who else you got out there? Boston. I like them. Kemba and Jason Tatum. I look for them to become one of the next best tandems in the NBA. Um, I'm just thinking out of all the teams. Like I said, Brooklyn and Knicks ain't nothing. Uh, Cleveland, I think they probably quite a few years. Oh, Philadelphia, it's another good team. So I look at to probably be like, I probably look like Philly, uh, Milwaukee, or Indiana to win the Central. I'm gonna just say Milwaukee. The third is probably gonna be Boston. The fourth is probably gonna be Indiana. The the fourth and fifth will probably be Indiana, Brooklyn. You know, the sixth, uh, probably one of the Toronto, the Pistons, the Magic. So yeah, they've been around the 6 to 8 range, man. In my opinion, man. We're gonna be the fourth seed in the East, bro. I like Indiana, man. I don't know, man. I think Brooklyn could shock some people because Indiana, if Oladipo come back, remember they got Malcolm Brogdon, Sabonis. I think he could be an All Star. Um, Miles Turner, he doing pretty good. Dallas native, he doing strong. Um, and Nate McMillan, one of the better coaches. You know, if Miles Turner continue to develop and Sabonis continue to, he gonna get started minutes with that. He's young being gone. Oladipo is a transcendent superstar, but we don't know if he ain't healthy the majority of the season, or if he don't get back to form, then I agree. Brooklyn probably be the fourth. But Indiana gonna give Milwaukee a run for their money for that division title. We need Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal ain't going nowhere. They about to offer him a 3-year extension, a 3 max extension. Now it's up to him to say if he don't want to be here. But I think Bradley Beal is a great fit for the Pistons. But quite frankly, it's gonna take too much. I don't think they had the assets to give him up to get him. Maybe Dre like DC. Maybe we want to trade Dre to DC. I don't know, but um, but he wouldn't have the splash that Westbrook has as far as financially. But he would have the better basketball impact. I think the Suns and Bulls are going to be surprised team in the league. Yeah, I like Monty Williams in Phoenix. Monty is a good coach, man. He lost his wife. He had to climb back to the league and the whole New Orleans thing. But Monty a good coach, man. Um, Devin Booker, Ayton, they should have took the other kid, not Ayton last year. It was another. They should have took. Oh, Trey Young and Devin Booker would have been a nice little backcourt, man. I like Atlanta, man. What they doing down there with the kid, from the big fella from Georgia Tech, John, whatever. I like him, man. Him, Trey Young, the kid from Duke. What's the guy from Duke name? The one I like him, man. And man, what's the kid name? Cam Reddish. I like him a lot, man. I like what they doing. They got the kid from was it West Virginia, DeAndre Hunter. I think they got him as well too. Or the kid from Virginia Tech one. They got good. Atlanta gonna be a sleeper team probably in a couple years. I won't say next year, but I like what Atlanta doing, man. I like Atlanta, man. And I was hoping they get the number 1 pick because I think a black city like Atlanta deserved that number 1 pick. I was hoping they get the number 1 pick, man. Trey Young and Zion, ooh, that'd have been filthy. That definitely would have been filthy. I think Atlanta deserved a winning basketball team, quite frankly, man. But that's just my personal opinion on it, man. But yeah, man, tap out, man. Oh, no, I got another comment. He said Utah. Utah. I said no. Utah gonna be a surprise. Like, yeah, the West tough this year. You talking about Utah, the Clippers, the Lakers, Denver, um, Portland, Houston, San Antonio, Minnesota still there, Sacramento again. But yeah, the West is treacherous. The West is treacherous next year, man. It's gonna be a lot of load management in both LA state, in both LA Clippers and in the Lakers. I got Denver being the number one seed next year. They got a lot of young legs, a ton of talent, um, a lot of young legs, a ton of talent. I think they should have consolidated some of that talent though, but hey, that's just my personal belief. But Denver gonna be the top seed in my opinion next year. You know, they can run, they're young, they can jump. So we'll see what happens with them, man. But I definitely appreciate everybody for checking in. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email. I got business questions, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. All the links in the descriptions, man. And I can't wait till the season start, man. I'll be doing you know, previews on Tuesday. I'll be doing predictions on Tuesday. I'll be doing final thoughts on Friday, updated, and I'll be doing post game reactions, and I'll be doing a little news through the week, and then we'll do a live reaction. Probably come Monday morning or something like that, depending on what my schedule looking like. But hey, we on all social media sites. Check us out there in the description. Appreciate the love, support, man, and yeah, just if you want a video request, just hit me up on Twitter or email. It's the quickest way to get in touch with me. Share the videos. Appreciate the love and support. We gone.